Hey guys, on that last video I told you we were going to solve some problems, and I didn't realize that it would take 15 minutes to show you the strategies for one problem. So here's another video. This one we're going to talk about page 24 in your math packet, which is still subtraction. This one asks you to cross out the answers as you complete the problems, which I really like because you have the answers at the bottom of the page. So if you come up with an answer that's not on the page, then you know exactly which ones you need to go back and fix. So we're going to do another problem. Let's do number 1 on this one. Same strategies, but this problem's a little bit more difficult than the last one we did, just because we have to regroup 100. All right, so 816 minus 432. Feel free to pause this video and do it with me. You can pause it at any point you need to and catch up. All right, so we're going to make 816 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. I always like to make them in 5 groups, like a 10 frame, because it's much easier to go back and count and it keeps it nice and organized. 810, 811, 812, 813, 814, 815, 816. Okay, now we're going to take away 432. So I need to take away 2 ones from 6 ones. Can I do that? Absolutely. No need to move a 10 over. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 ones left. All right, tens. We have 1 10 and we need to take away 3. Well, that's not possible because there's only 1. So where can I find more tens? There are tens in 100. So let's move 100 over. Okay, how many tens are in 100? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. There are 10 tens in 100. So we're going to add 10 tens. Now we can take away 3 tens. 1, 2, 3. And I am left with 8. 8 tens right here. I can also show what I just did the vertical way. So I took 100, and now I have 7, and I added 10 tens to the tens place. So instead of being 1 10, there then were 11 tens. From those 11 tens, I took away 3, and now there are 8 tens. Okay, now we have 700s, and we need to subtract 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm left with 300s. My answer is 384. But if you don't like the chip model and you don't like those quick drawings, there are always other ways. Other ways that you can get your answer and show your work. Okay, let's put 816 minus 432. Okay, let's do this one on a number line. Okay, so remember you can count up. So let's do that one first, and then we'll subtract back. 432, 816. So this is my part. I'm counting up to get to my whole. So my answer will be in the jumps. That will be the other part. Okay? All right, so from 432, if I want to make this a friendly number, what is 2's partner? 8. 2 and 8 make a 10. The next 10 is 440. Okay, so from 440, I can make an even friendlier number by adding 6 tens. 4 tens and 6 tens are going to make a friendly number. They make 100. So I'm going to be at 500. Now that I'm at 500, I can add hundreds to get to 800. How many hundreds do I need to get to 800? I have 5, I need 8. I'm going to add 300. 500 plus 300 is 800. Now, I know that I need 16 to get to 816, but because my answer is in the jumps, I'm going to add 10 first, and then I'm going to add 6, which is still 16. So 800 plus 10 and 6 makes 816. Okay, so my answer is in my jumps. So I have 300. That's the only 100 I added. I added 6 tens and 1 10, which makes 70. And then I have 8 plus 6. That's a good mental math problem. 8 plus 6 is the same thing. If I move 2 over with the 8, it's the same thing as 10 and 4, which would be 14. So now that should be a little bit easier to add. 70 and 10 makes 80. So I have 384. Same answer. For some of you that was a lot easier. For some of you it was a little bit harder. Depends on what you're used to doing. All right, for those of you that don't like to count up, really adding and counting up is probably the easier way to do that. If you're going to use a number line, because it's just easier to add than it is to subtract. But for those of you that want to subtract, we'll do that one too. So this time I'm going to start at 432, or not 432. We're going to start at 816, and we're going to subtract back 432. So 432 will be in my jumps, and then my answer will be where I land. Okay, so this one is actually a little bit more like the problem is written. So in that way, it's kind of easier, but as to actually working out the problem, I think it's a little bit harder. Okay, so if I'm at 816, I need to take away 400, I need to take away 30, I need to take away 2, but I don't have to do all that at one time. So let's go back, big jump, let's take away 400. Okay, 816 minus 400. So I'm only looking at the hundreds place. 800s minus 400 is 400s, and everything else stays the same, so we should have 416. Now, I need to take away 30, but I only have 110. So instead of taking away 30 at one time, what if I take away 3 10s? I'm going to take away 10, and then another 10, and then another 10. I think that'll make it a little bit easier, okay? So 416, take away the 10 is 406. Now, some of us struggle with this. That's why I don't love this strategy, subtracting across that 0. If you have 406 and you take away a 10, you have 396, right? Because you actually had to go into that next 100. Then if you take away another 10, you have 386. Okay, so I've taken away 400. I've taken away 30. Now I take away 2 more. And 386 minus 2 would be 385, 384. So my answer is 384. Okay? All right, guys, those are the best way to do that one, or to do any of your subtraction problems. If you have a specific problem that you're stuck on and you don't know how to do, or you want to see me do it, just give me a call or send me a message and just say, hey, Miss Miller, will you do number 5 on page 24 or whatever, and I will absolutely do that for you, okay? I'm just sitting here waiting for your questions. Have a good afternoon. I miss you all. Bye, guys.